5 of the Knit for Your Die podcast. Oh, the dogs are bumping the table that the camera's on. I've gotten them all worked up. But I wanted everybody to say hello to you guys. I think it's been like forever since you saw Piper, and I don't know that you've ever really seen Olly. I think you've maybe heard him snoring in the background a little bit. But yeah, I don't think you've ever met him officially. So that big guy was Olly, and he is our 7-year-old. He just turned 7 fairly recently. And he is a rescue from, I think, Georgia is where he came from. They do this, if you haven't rescued a dog before, they do this like caravan thing where, so there's a big stray dog issue in more of the southern states, as far as what my understanding is anyway. It's a lot bigger of an issue than it is here in New England. I mean, where I am, you never see stray dogs ever. So they adopt a lot of dogs from the south up to New England. So, and then volunteers like will drive for so many miles, and then the dogs go in someone else's car and they drive for so many miles, and they do this like caravan thing up to New England where you meet up with the people, and then you get your dog, you know, after you've gone through their whole process to make sure that, you know, you're a good pet owner. So that's how we had got Olly. And he is a boxer coonhound mix is what our vet believes he's mostly made up of. There could be other stuff in there, who knows. And then I have Simon and Piper, my 2 chihuahuas, which, you know, I wanted small dogs forever. And it was just never, ever the right time. So we had a Boston Terrier, I mean, which was a small dog, but he wasn't as small. I mean, he was still like 30 pounds. And he passed away about 2 years ago now. And then about just over a year now, maybe a year and a half ago, I was given the opportunity to work from home. And I think just, you know, all the stars and planets had aligned just right to where it was a good time for me to get my Chihuahua. So I did, and then a few months later, I knew immediately I had to have another one because, you know, it's just kind of like having kids. They keep each other company, and, you know, they keep each other occupied, and, you know, I can't play with them all the time. So, you know, it just gives them another outlet to have some fun and companionship. And so we did. We got a second Chihuahua, which was Piper. We got Simon first. Piper came second, and Simon's not a big fan of other dogs, so it did actually take a couple weeks of us slowly introducing them for Simon to accept Piper. And mostly he's afraid, and that is really his big issue, is he's afraid of things. And small dogs, when they're afraid, they bark and they show their teeth and they act really nasty, and people often take that as a sign of aggression, or that the dog is, you know, a mean dog, or, you know, just a nasty, unfriendly dog. But really what's happening is they learn very quickly that when they act that way, the thing that they're afraid of goes away. And so that's positive reinforcement that, you know, it works. I don't like this thing. I acted in this manner. That thing went away from me. So they continue to do that, and it escalates. So we do work with Simon on that. We did training for quite a long time with him. He's been through some basic and some more advanced obedience training. So, you know, he can do a bunch of fun little things. Like he can, you know, if you point to his bed and say, go to bed, he'll go to bed and lay right down in it. He's super cute. He can do a bunch of, you know, stuff like that. And he's a good listener, but he does still have fear issues. And he's been like that from day one. We got him from a breeder at like 10 weeks old, but from day one, he has been just fearful of things. Piper is not. Piper is like, I mean, she's the smallest one, and she just doesn't care. She loves everything. But anyway, so after we integrated them They were fun, and they've been best buddies ever since. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you see the pictures of them always snuggled up together. And even Ollie, sometimes the three of them will all cram into one little dog bed, which is hilarious because Ollie does not fit in their dog bed. But he'll lay like on top and just smush the whole thing, and then the two of them will like get right up in between his front paws, and then they'll like curl up like a little yin and yang. And oh, they're so cute. Anyway, enough about the dogs. That was a long dog intro. I don't know. When I look at that, maybe I'll cut some of that out. I'm sorry. If you do not care about my dogs, sorry. So anyway, today is Friday, June 9th, I believe, is the date, 2017. I'm going to start saying the year when I give the date because I watch a lot of older podcasts. And I noticed that they usually give the month and the day, but they don't give the year. And, which, I mean, not a huge deal or anything, but, you know, I do find myself sometimes wondering, is this last year? Was this like 5 years ago? Because some of these guys have been doing this for a long time, right? Like, years and years and years. Like, I watch the Dyer's Notebook, and, which is Laura from Jinx Yarns. And she's been doing this for a long time, and her podcast is just amazing if you're, especially if you're a dyer, so, or a new dyer getting started. I know her podcast was kind of invaluable to me, especially those early episodes. Yeah, it was amazing. So anyway, I find myself wondering how long ago the podcast I'm watching is, because sometimes I just put it on like autoplay and it just plays whatever while I'm doing things. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to start saying the date. That was a long way of going about saying that. You'll see me looking over. I do have notes today so that I can try to keep this thing rolling without a lot of back and forth and jumping around like I did the last time. I was a bit scattered. So I'm going to try to do that as I get, you know, more comfortable and better at some sort of flow. So please bear with me, and I hope it's not too distracting. Also, I'm going to be going like this a lot and this a lot. I went to bed last night with my hair completely wet. I took a shower right before bed, and when I woke up, my head was like, oh my god, like a circus clown afro. Bad, really bad. Yeah, so I took the dogs outside this morning so they could, you know, do their business, and I just kept thinking, oh my god, I hope the neighbors don't see me like this. I look so crazy. But anyway, so I just straightened my hair, and apparently I must have parted it over here for some reason when I went to bed, and now it, you know, this is longer, which is fine, but it wants to keep falling in front of my face. And I've got all these weird little flyaway things here because it's not where I normally part my hair. So yeah, if I'm looking a little bit funky today, maybe you wouldn't have noticed if I didn't say anything, but I'm looking a little funky today. That's why. And that's why I'm going to be fiddling with my hair. So I'm going to try to keep my hands busy and away from my head so that won't be too bothersome. Recently, it seems like the podcast has had a fair amount of new subscribers, so yay, that is awesome. I think I'm getting close to 100 subscribers, which is so amazing. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to you guys who have stuck with me from the beginning, from crazy old episode 1. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me every time I upload one of these videos. And thank you for chatting with me online. Especially there's a few of you who have reached out to me in various places. Ravelry, Facebook, and Instagram are probably the 3 big ones. And I've gotten to know some of you a lot better that way. And thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. So that's awesome. And to all the to all the new viewers out there, hello and welcome. Yeah, it's so great to have you with us. So in case you don't know me, my name is Cheryl, and I live in southern New Hampshire, and I am married, and I have 2 kids. My daughter is Liana. She's 23, and she has she graduated from college and she's moved out and off having a wonderful life. She lives quite local. She lives right down the street actually, so that's great. We get to see each other quite a bit. And she's a teacher. And then I have a son named Ty, who is 14, and he'll be 15 this fall. And yeah, he's graduating 8th grade this year, so he'll be starting high school. And then that's it. I have my dogs, and yeah, they all keep me busy. So you can find me online if you would like to do so as Knitsy Pearlsy on Ravelry and Instagram. And I am also an indie dyer, and my yarn brand is Hypnotic Yarn. So I have a website, hypnoticyarn.com. It's yarn plural, I'm sorry, yarn singular, not plural. So just Hypnotic Yarn, all one word, .com. And I have a Facebook page that's just Hypnotic Yarn. So if you would like to find me anywhere on the interwebs, that is how you can do that. I'm pretty active on Ravelry. Oh, there's also a Ravelry group for the podcast. It is the Knit for Your Die podcast. And yeah, we have a summer sock cal going on that just kind of started, and a bunch of you have posted some of your whips and whatnot in the chatter thread. So that made my day, makes my day every day. Every time somebody posts in the group, seriously, I like squee. I get so excited. It's so stupid, I know, but I really do. So just know that every time you hit that button and send anything in the group, that somebody on the other end in New Hampshire is, you know, doing a little happy dance on the other side. And like, for reals, it really happens. So thank you for that. I love seeing all of the socks that are either done with my pattern or my yarn, or both, which is super exciting. So yeah, for anyone new, if you're interested in that, you can hop on over. The details are all in the group. There's an FO thread and a chatter thread. I'll be pulling for winners from both threads. I think that what is going to happen is we're going to, and by we, I mean me, pull a winner from the chatter thread every month, and it's going to be June, July, August. I mean, maybe we'll keep it going, who knows, but for now, June, July, August, and I'm going to gift a pattern from the chatter thread, and I'll tell you what that pattern is going to be in a minute, and I'm going to gift a, well, I'm going to send a prize, like a physical prize from the FO thread, and I'm going to draw that, like I said, once a month, and you can knit as many socks as you want. Keep them coming. The more you put in there, the more chances you have to win. And the group is pretty small right now, so you guys, you have a pretty good chance of winning. So yeah, so keep it coming. I love seeing all your stuff. It makes me so, so, so happy. So what I'm going to do for the chatter thread for June is I'm going to gift a copy of the pattern. It's called the Mini Madness Shawl, and I actually knit one. I knit a smaller version. I didn't do the whole thing, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we do FOs in just a second. But so you will see a picture of it. But the reason I chose to do this shawl and not like a sock pattern was because this shawl uses minis, and you know, if you're a sock knitter, chances are good that you have a lot of leftover bits of yarn, and probably a pretty good lengths of yarn, 20 grams, 30 grams, whatever. And this pattern is designed specifically to use, smaller bits of yarn that you can kind of, I think you can do a fade. When I knit it, I just knit it out of a single colorway, so I didn't do the whole mini thing, but I just thought what a great way to use up some of that sock yarn, right? We're all looking for ways to use up every bit of that yarn because, it's expensive stuff and it's nice yarn, and we want to, make the most out of every last thread, right? So, and it's a really nice, fun shawl pattern. If you haven't knit a shawl before, it's an easy, easy beginner pattern as well. So yeah, so I really like the pattern. I knit the shawlette that I'm going to show you guys. I knit it in one day, basically. I started it on a Friday afternoon. I had taken a half day off of work right before Memorial Day. I took a half day that Friday. And so I knit it, and I finished it almost all in that Friday afternoon. And I had left and went grocery shopping and did some other stuff. So it wasn't even like straight knitting. It was like a few hours of knitting, really. And then I knit into it quite, you know, late in the evening. I did sit down and then just work on it. But, I mean, one afternoon, really. And then I finished it up that following Saturday morning. So I mean, it was less than 24 hours, really. And it was done, blocked, and ready to go. So it's a great beginner shawl. So if you're looking for something that's, you know, easy, potato chippy, kind of whatever to knit in the summer, it's a great pattern. That's a lot about that. For the FO thread, I'm going to show you guys the prize for that for June. I'm so excited. I had something coming in the mail, which is why it took me to the end of the week to get this podcast recorded, because I really wanted to show you the whole prize. And I had something that I ordered coming in, and yeah, so it arrived yesterday. So here goes. So the theme for June's prize is going to be, ready? Alpaca. And I showed you guys this cute garden alpaca box that housed the mug that I bought from Hallmark back in April, I think, is when I bought it. And I've been holding on to this box, and I knew I wanted to do something prize-worthy with it. So the prize is in the box. Ready? Dun, da, da, da. Whoop. Sneak peek. Okay, so there's a couple goodies in here. One is, this has nothing to do with alpacas, but I have some of these and they're kind of fun, so I figured I would throw one in. It's like a little digital stitch counter, or not stitch counter, but row counter, or you could count your stitches with it if you wanted to. But basically, this little thing, you can wrap it around your finger if you wanted to, and then, actually it goes this way, and then you just hit the button and it counts. So you don't have to like stop and write it down or something. It's cute, you know. Is it the best like quality thing in the whole world? I don't know. I got them from Amazon. I'm pretty sure they're like made in China, and I got a whole bunch of them. It came like in a package with like 10 of them or something. So, but it is kind of cute. And if you really need to keep track of those rows, I mean, it works. So I like it. I don't know if it like stays on that well, but whatever. It's fun and it's cute, and I thought you guys might like it. So there's that. And then this is the thing that I ordered that I'm really excited about, and I hope you guys love it, but it is this. And you may not know what this is. It looks kind of like a wristband. It is a, wait for it, it's a skein coat. And if you don't know what a skein coat is, I will show you. Imagine this is your cake of yarn. This one's actually, this is folded in on itself because it's the large size. But you put it on your ball of yarn or your cake or your skein or however you have it, and it holds it together so that when you're knitting, the outside edge, you know how they kind of like blow up? Or at least that happens to me all the time. Oh, if I cross my legs, you guys are going to see I'm wearing some crazy, crazy pants. You're not supposed to see those, but I think you just did. So anyway, if you see my completely crazy mismatched outfit, just ignore that. All right, back to the alpaca themed. Look at, guys. It's an alpacas wearing glasses. Are you kidding me? Nerdy alpacas. That's awesome. And I have one. When I show you my whips, you'll see the one I have that's actually in use. But yeah, so it's a stretchy material, and you just put it over your cake or your skein, and it keeps it from just kind of exploding on you and, you know, and having a big yarn barfy mess. So these are by Precious Knits is the company. They're on Etsy, and the owner is Lindsay Zara, and I'll show you. This is her This is her card. And excuse my nails. I know I have this one nail that's not painted. I did my nails the other day. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some nail art pictures there too. But yeah, I messed this one up and I haven't had a chance to redo it. So that's why that is a thing. But Lindsay Zara, Precious Knits. Her Etsy shop is just Precious Knits Shop. So Precious Knits, plural, shop. So you're going to have those two S's back to back there. And preciouknitsshop.com is also her website. So, and she has a couple other really cute things. She's got some bags and some different things in there as well. So I'm going to include the card because she included a few things in the package that I got that had all her info on it. So I'm going to send the card along as well in case anyone is interested, or the winner is interested in knowing where this came from. But it's super adorable, and you'll see mine when I show you my whips. And then lastly, you're going to get a skein of this lovely DK alpaca. And it's not going to be this color. This is for, you know, representation only. This is actually for sale in my shop, this particular colorway. So I have some undyed skeins that, so I'm going to dye something up for the winner. And potentially you could even maybe pick your own color. Let me know, you know, maybe I'll do that once a winner's chosen. I'll get in touch with them, and then you can let me know what sort of color you would enjoy your alpaca in. It's a DK weight, and it's 150 yards, 100 grams. I get this from the local alpaca farm that I talked to you guys about, I think in episode 2, that my husband found. That's literally, I could walk to their farm. It's that close to my house, and they've been there longer than I've been here. So, and I've been here for like 10 years. So I don't know how I didn't know that that was a thing, but it is. And I found them, and they let me buy their yarn in bulk and dye it and sell it. So that's super exciting. Oops. Yeah, and so the yarn that I have in my shop is the alpaca. That's all I'm going to have because that's all they had of this particular blend, which is, it's a 60-40 Surrey, and then I never remember, there's another type of alpaca that starts with an H, and it's that. So it's 2 different types of alpaca in this yarn, and it makes a really, really cool fabric, and it's soft, and it's really nice. It's kind of drapey. There's no nylon or anything, so I mean, it's definitely just more of a drapey sort of yarn, but it's really, really nice. Okay, so that is all the giveaway info for June. So I hope you're excited and that you want to enter and win some of that cool stuff. So, okay, so I have one more thing to talk to you guys about before I get into the finished objects and whips. And I'll try to make it as quick as I can. But I had an idea. And maybe it's dumb. I don't know. I guess you guys will be the judge of that. But back in... Wait, hold on. I have allergies, and they're kind of bothering me today. Okay. So back in episode 1... if you watched it, or if you haven't, the title of episode 1, if you see that, it's called Becoming a Yes Knitter. And I talked a bit about what that meant to be, what that meant to me, and why I wanted to start this podcast, and yeah, and some stuff like that. And it has to do with something that Stephen West said in an interview that he had done, like a YouTube interview. And he said something about, you know, he wanted to inspire people to become yes knitters. And that was kind of a big deal to me. And I wasn't really a yes knitter for a while. And then I decided, you know, what the heck? It's just yarn. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So I really started doing more and more. And it pushed my knitting to a whole new level. And I'm doing all kinds of things now that I had never done. And I'm loving it. It's the best thing ever. And I want to continue to do that. So I was thinking about that. You know, there were some things I wanted to try. One, after I clear off some stuff on my needles, because I have a bunch of things going on, but once I clear those things off a little bit, hopefully within the next like month, I really want to try brioche. So brioche is going to be my next yes knitting endeavor. There's a Stephen West pattern I knit my first shawl, and then I bought this Stephen West pattern, and it is the Exploration Station, which many people have knit, many people, but there's brioche in it, and which didn't really bother me. I was like, okay, well, I'll figure it out, even though he says you should probably practice some brioche before you do this. I was like, nah, I'll be okay. I didn't even get to the brioche, and I screwed up some stuff, and I was very early in, so I had ripped it out and knit a few more shawls. So now I have quite a few shawls under my belt at this point. And I think I'm ready to try that pattern again, but I want to practice brioche first. So that was what was in my head when I came up with this little idea of mine. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun if any of you guys, I don't know, maybe you're probably all way more advanced than I am, I'm sure. But for anyone who, you know, but even still, like I see people that say, oh, I've been knitting for 50 years and I've never tried socks, you know, and I really want to try my first pair of socks. Or, you know, for other people, it could be a sweater. You know, I always knit these things, but I've never knit a sweater. And it's something that they want to try. So I thought, you know, of course, the knitting community is all about supporting each other and helping each other out. But if any of you are like me and you don't have a lot of in real life knitter friends, or like a local yarn shop that you're really comfortable going to, or one at all maybe, or not one that's close enough, you know, it can be hard to tackle some of those patterns because you don't have anyone to ask when you're stuck. So I thought, why not, and I know this is not a new idea by any means. I understand that other people have done this and people support each other all over the place, but I thought, why not have like a little yes knitter army, right? We can all be like soldiers in this little yes knitter army. And so I looked on Instagram, and there is no one using the hashtag yes knitters of Instagram. There's like maybe 4 or 5 posts under yes knitter, but I thought yes knitters, or yes knitters of Instagram, or yes knitter, I'm not sure, I'll have to double check and look, but why not let's use one of those hashtags. And you know, for any of our projects that maybe we're trying something new, and you know, we just want to either show it off, or you know, it's a place that we can all know about and go look at to see, you know, other people in the group and, you know, who watch the podcast, what they're working on that maybe is something that has, you know, is outside of their comfort zone, something that they haven't done before or haven't done a lot of. You know, it's something that is in part of their journey in becoming more of a yes knitter. So yeah, so I just thought, wouldn't that be kind of a fun thing that we could do? So I am gonna check it out, and I'll probably post something. I'll put a thread in the group as well, and I'll put the hashtag in there, so that way, I mean, not everybody's on Instagram either. So if you want to, you know, use the group instead as a place to do that, especially if you want to maybe talk more about getting help, that could be something that would be posted in the group, as opposed to, or not as opposed to, you could also post it on Instagram, but you know what I mean. You can put a little bit more about where you're stuck, and anyone who's done that before can kind of jump in and maybe help you out, or help me out, because I'm sure I'm gonna need it, because I looked at some brioche patterns and I was like, yeah, I don't know. This looks complicated. So that was my idea, and I don't know, maybe it's silly and maybe nobody will want to do that, but I'm gonna put it out there in case anybody does. And yeah, I thought that would be fun. Okay, so I'm gonna move on now to my finished objects, of which I have a few. However, I only have one fully finished object that I can actually show you, and I will tell you why towards the end of the podcast when I talk about shop update stuff. But I will insert some pictures of the other finished objects, including that shawlette from the Mini Madness shawl pattern that I was telling you about. So The one finished object that I have in my hot little hands today is a pair of my mismatched shorty socks that, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen a picture of already, and it's also, they're in my Ravelry project page. I'm pretty good about putting my projects in there. Not everything is in there, but most things are in there. So these are the socks. They look like this. Dun, da, da, da. I mean, they're just little shorties. They are knit using my espresso shorty sock pattern, which is free on Ravelry. And except I did a shorter, I think the pattern calls for 10 rows of cuff and 10 rows before the heel, and I did like 5 and 5, I think. And the yarn is from one of my perfectly mismatched shorty sock kits, which come with, they all come with either like a variegated or a speckled skein, and then a coordinating self-striping skein. So, you know, whatever colors I use in this, I use to do the self-striping. So they match color-wise, but obviously you have mismatched socks, and then it comes with a mini so you can do heels and toes. This kit is no longer available. If anybody really wanted this colorway, I can still dye it, but I have done some new colorways. This is one of my older ones, and they're gone now. But I could repeat it if somebody really wanted this. So if you do, let me know. But otherwise, there's some other kits that are like this. My daughter loves mismatched socks. Like I said, she's 23. She has always worn mismatched socks and like funky, you know, crazy socks. Now, not everybody wants super crazy, but the kits they've been pretty popular. I've been surprised by how popular they are. So, you know, I think a lot of people like mismatched socks, and a lot of kids, you know, even, or young adults, you know, whatever. Or it's just fun, right? It's fun. And some people would drive them absolutely nuts, and I know that. Some people would be like bonkers to have two completely non-matching socks. But, you know, I'm sure they're not for everybody. But anyway, these are my, it's an afterthought heel. And usually I do like a few rounds of even knitting before the heel to deepen it a little bit, because I find without that they are a little too, they tug without that. So if you're, you know, thinking about knitting this pattern, which if you do, you can join the knit-along. And you can double dip in the knit-along too. So I know there's some other people with knit-alongs going, especially for even shorty socks, like the girls in the Yarn Cafe, Christy and Tristan. They're hosting a shorty sock cal. So you could totally double dip, triple dip, whatever, you know, as long as the rules allow you to. Yeah, and the pattern again is free. So what do you get to lose, right? But anyway, that's these. They're cute. I like them. I love shorty socks. I knit primarily shorty socks. I think because I don't have a lot of patience, and doing the leg of the sock takes so long. And I'm gearing up to do a long pair of socks for the Grocery Girls June sock bash, because I'm going to make them for my daughter's boyfriend, who is the only male person in my life who will wear my hand knit socks pretty much. So yeah, so I'm gonna knit him a pair, and he's not gonna want ankle socks. So I gotta knit a full pair of socks. Okay, so then the other projects that I'm gonna show you, I'm just gonna show you pictures of, because that's all I've got, and I'll tell you why later, but I'll just show you the yarn that I used quickly. This is the yarn that I knit the shawlette, the Mini Madness shawlette out of, and it is my Water Lilies colorway, and it's mostly like a super light, like cucumber green, with some spots of like a bright yellow, and then these really nice speckles, which are kind of like a navy blue and green and like chartreuse, but so you can kind of see the navy here. But there's not, I mean, there's like a nice amount of speckling, but there's not a ton of speckling, so it's a very subtle yarn. I love this yarn. I'm going to knit socks out of the leftovers that I have from the shawl. And then I also knit a sock out of my Grandma's a Rock Star, which is another one of my favorite colorways, one of my newer favorite colorways. It's like all primary colors, So it's kind of like primary rainbow. You've got red, orange, green, blue, yellow, and purple, but they're all very primary. And then this gray. So it's a micro striper. So you're going to get, you'll see in the picture, a stripe of gray, a stripe of color, a stripe of gray, a stripe of color. But the color is not even. So you're going to have, it's like, so you'll have squiggles like purple, yellow, green, blue. And so, you know, with white in between. But the white, because the gray is kind of a light gray, it almost doesn't even look white. It just looks like, you'll see the sock. It's cool. And it's also been on Instagram. So you may have seen it there too. And then I also knit this sock, and this is the mate to the sock I showed you guys last podcast, which was the variegated sock out of my sea glass colorway. And it's another perfectly mismatched shorty sock kit. So this is the sea glass one, and this is the self-striping mate. But I don't have the variegated with me to show you the pair, but I'll put a picture up so you can see the two together. This is probably one of my favorites. I like how this looks together. I like this colorway a lot, and I really like the variegated colorway, and it's been pretty popular too, so that's a fun one. So that is it. That's it for my finished objects. Oh no, I'm sorry, so there's one more. Okay, so the last finished object that I have is a shawl that I knit for Mother's Day. So I don't have that with me either, but I will show you a picture. Unfortunately, I don't really have a good picture. It's, I just, for whatever reason, forgot to take a nice picture of it. But, so I think I have it, the picture I did take, it's like laying out, and it's got like all the ends still need to be woven in and stuff, but still to give you a good idea of what the shawl looks like, it is a beautiful pattern. And if you are looking for a shawl that's maybe a little bit different than just the normal like garter and eyelet lace, definitely give this one a try, because it was not difficult to knit at all. It was really fun, and it was actually quite fast to knit as well. It's called A Mother's Heart, and it is a pattern that was put together by the Periscoping sisters, Debbie Reese and Amy Meeks. And yeah, it was for Mother's Day, and they had a knit along, and it was like a mystery knit along. So you got like the clues, and that was the first mystery knit along I had ever done. So I really, really enjoyed it. I had wanted to make two, however, some stuff happened and that just didn't become an option. But I did knit one, and I gave it to my mom, and yeah, I really liked the pattern a lot. So I'm going to show that to you as well, and I think I want to knit another one of those. That was fun. So anyway, here you go. Here are the pictures of the finished objects. Okay, so now on to works in progress. But first, kind of a little transition. I want to show you guys this bag that I got. Check it out. It is baby sloths. Oh my God. You guys, if you didn't know, I love sloths. I love them so much. Like, I love them with all my heart and soul. I have a bunch of like stuffed animals. I think I have 3 stuffed sloths. People get me like sloths. I have a sloth necklace. I have sloth pins. I've got, like I said, stuffed animals, and now this bag. I love, oh, socks. I have sloth socks. I love sloths. Love them. They're just so funny looking and so like sweet, and the little baby sloths, like the real ones. They make this noise. I don't know if you have not seen, you need to like Google it and like watch a baby sloth video. They're just the cutest freaking things. So anyway, I saw this bag and it had sloths on it, and it was done deal. It had to be mine. Had to be mine. So This is what it looks like, and I love the design of this. I hadn't seen bags like this before, but since I bought it, now you know how that happens. You don't notice something, and then you get one, and then you see it everywhere. I won't say I've seen it everywhere, but I have seen this style, these like box, almost like a lunchbox bag. So it opens from the top like this. So it opens up and it's like that. So when you're using it, I mean, it stays square, but your stuff comes right out of the top. I find it super easy to knit right out of this bag. And I don't know how big it looks like on screen, but it's not a big bag, but inside is very roomy. This bag, I had 3 sock projects in this bag. So that's 3 100-gram skeins of yarn caked up and 3 minis, 20-gram minis, plus 3 socks, 3 sets of needles. And by needles, I use a 9-inch circular and a 40-inch magic loop, or 40-inch, you know, circular for magic loop for my heels and toes. So, you know, I had like a lot of needles in here too. I mean, I had a lot of stuff in this bag, plus my little notions pouch, my glasses. You can fit a lot in this little bag because I think just the design of it and the way it's like a rectangle and it stays in this shape, you can just fit so much stuff. Like the cakes, you can put like two, and then your projects over here, you can fit a lot of stuff. So the inside is gray, and it's got, see, I still have some of my needles in here, and it's got like diamonds, and it's got an interfacing in it, which it's not super stiff either. So I don't know, I think like the sewing is actually what makes the bag mostly stay in the shape. But it does have some interfacing in it as well. And I will tell you, the bag is made by Black Cat Bags Boutique, and she is Black Cat Bags Boutique on Etsy. And her name is Vicky with no E. She has that all over her stuff, Vicky with no E. So V-I-C-K-I. So I think it's funny. So she has it even on her tag. You'll see. So it says, let's see if you can see that, Black Cat Bags, and then here it says like made by Vicky with no E. Oh, that cracks me up for some reason. Oh, made in Tennessee by Vicky with no E. That's really cute. I don't know, things like that. It's personal, and I like that about things. It's like a little surprise. And she put this cute little button on here. It's kind of like a zipper pull. So, yeah. So I love this bag. And all my sock projects that I showed you were all knit out of this bag. Pretty much I had them all going at the same time. And I'm definitely going to get another one of these. This thing, A-okay in my book. Alright, so that is that. Whip number 1, actually I'm going to show you a sock first, because I just have one sock whip, and that is this guy. Let me see, I'll throw it on a blocker for you. The ends aren't woven in, they're just tucked in, so if you see them poking out, yeah. So that's that. I knit this sock with my, basically like my espresso shot shorty, it's a tongue twister, I picked that name, right? Espresso shot shorty sock pattern, but I did the Hermione's Everyday sock pattern on the foot. And because I just wanted something a little bit different. I did like 50 million vanilla socks, and I wanted something different for this one. And I used this green contrasting heel and toe that I dyed the green, and then the yarn is by Christy at Yarn Cafe Creations, and she is the co-host of the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast. And somebody had knit my espresso shot shorty sock pattern out of this yarn. And I really liked it. And so I saw it on the project page and I was like, ooh, I need to get me some of that. So the yarn is called, the colorway is Kelpie, and it's like a pink, like a light baby pink. And it's some white in there too, but then it's got like a kind of a neon yellow and then a dark like navy blue and red. Yeah, that's like the main color. I don't know, it's almost like, it's hard to tell. The dark, it's almost like it could be like a violet, but where it mixes in some points, it could maybe have turned navy. So it's almost like maybe like a violet. Yeah, because when I look at it on the string here, so that's the color. I think it looks navy in some spots where maybe it mixed with other colors. So you can see on the bottom, that's what it looks like in stockinette, and then that's what here's what it looks like on the pattern. And an afterthought heel. So the yarn is really nice, you guys. I enjoyed knitting with it quite a lot, and I need to cast on the other one, which I will do soon. So this is the yarn in my crazy messy cake, because my cakes always turn into, which is why I needed that skein coat. It's a 75/25 superwash merino nylon, but it's really poofy. Like, I have a 75/25 and mine is more, it's thinner. It's like a light fingering, and it's, I don't know if the right word maybe is like, I think mine's maybe drapier, and this one is fluffy, and it's really nice. I'm intrigued by this 75/25, because the actual yarn, maybe it has like less of a, I don't know what ply it is. I don't know. I really like it though. Whatever it is, I don't know where she gets it. It's nice, it's soft, it's fluffy, it's really nice to work with. So check those guys out, because they get some nice yarn, and she's got some beautiful colorways too. You know, it's different. I think her yarn is a little bit different, the way she does her speckling and her different things. You know, she's got her own style, as we all do, and you know, so that's why I always say there's plenty of room for all of us dyers out there, because we all do things, you know, in our own way, especially if you learn like kind of organically as you go along, which is, you know, what I did. You know, you figure out different techniques and different ways to do stuff by trial and error, and you know, and you come up with your own style and your own way of producing something, and, you know, it comes straight from your brain onto the yarn. So yeah, so there's plenty of room for all of us, and I say, you know, check her stuff out, because her yarn it's really nice. And if for whatever reason you don't like the thinner 75/25, you know, you might really like hers. So give that a whirl. And again, it's Yarn Cafe Creations is the name of her Etsy shop, and you probably watch her podcast already, but if you don't, it is the Girls in the Yarn Cafe that she hosts with her daughter Tristan. Tristan has her own yarn brand, Dragon Horde Yarn, which is really nice too, and I think I want to definitely get some of her colorways as well, because she's got some really cool stuff, and she uses that same base too, so I think I want some more of that in my life. Okay, my next whip is this shawl that I started. It's not even on needles. It's on it's on a broken, oh wait, it is on needles. Oh, something else I have isn't on needles. Never mind. This one's on needles. This is the right side. So this pattern, if you can see the lace, I mean, it's not blocked, so it's kind of squished together, but the lace in this, it's a very different type of lace from what I'm used to seeing in shawls. It's like a mesh netting. Can you see that? I'm trying to stretch it out a bit there. Yeah, it's definitely different. So if you're looking for something that is, again, a little bit different, this one is a little bit trickier. It's not complicated. You just have to pay attention when you're doing the lace section. The rest of it is really easy. The lace, it's not hard at all. You just, you know, you need to make sure you're in the right spot. So you do kind of need to watch your stitch counts in the lace area. but it's a fun pattern, and I like how it's working up on this variegated yarn. This is my colorway If One Can, Two Can, because the colors to me look very tropical, toucan-y colors. If you can see that, it's actually a micro striper on socks. So it's like the peach, and then it's kind of like My Grandma's a Rock Star. So if you saw that sock that I showed you guys, it kind of has that same sort of, these colors might actually be a little bit closer together though. So you're getting more of like a, you know, like it goes from one color to the next on one stripe, and then you get the peach and then the bright colors. But knit up in a shawl, which is why I did it, because I wanted to see what the micro stripers kind of looked like, knit up into something that wasn't going to micro stripe. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know. You guys let me know how you feel about it. But I do have a couple of these left. This is, again, another one of my favorites. I think it's so bright and fun, but it's not like crazy neon over the top bright. So if you're looking for something that, you know, has a lot of color but isn't like neon. Sometimes I find it's either like neon or more muted. I don't know. So anyway, I like this a lot. It's called Catching Mermaid Waves is the name of the pattern. It's by Justina McBride, and it's on Ravelry. I'm not sure how she says it. It's MEMEMAE design. So I don't know if it's like Meme Designs or Meme Designs, because you spell meme like an internet meme, MEME, but like growing up, I'm French Canadian and I had a meme, and I think that's how you spelled meme too. So I don't really know how she pronounces it, but I'll have to ask her. Yeah, I'll have to ask her and find out. So, but it's I'm gonna say meme, but maybe that's not it. But that's what I'm gonna say. Designs on Ravelry. And her patterns are really well written, and they're fairly, you know, they're really easy to follow the way she writes them out. So I would definitely recommend this one. You can see what it looks like in some other colorways as well if you don't like the, you know, bright, crazy colors. But yeah, I'm totally loving this shawl, although I haven't had a chance to work on it much because I'll show you in a minute why, because I'm working on a test knit for Justina, and I'll show you that shawl last. But I wanted to show you this real quick. This is a little bag that my mother-in-law made for me. If you have ever checked out my shop, you'll see that we also offer project bags, and those are made by my mother-in-law because I don't sew, but she does, and she makes some project bags. And I think she had like some leftover yarn, and she made me these little bags, just, I don't know, to put little ditties in or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. I looked at it, I'm like, I think a ball of yarn will fit in here. And sure enough, I popped a ball of cake of yarn in this bag, and it's like, look how perfect the fit is. And this is before I had my skein coat. I didn't even know about skein coats when I did this. But I was like, oh my God, it fits my yarn perfect, and it's going to keep it from just exploding all over my project bag. Because what happens is, like, the end on the outside always unravels. Even when I tuck it in and stuff, it always comes out, and then it wraps around this, and I've got all this yarn junk everywhere when it's in my bag. I hate it. So I pop my yarn in here, and it keeps it just, you can take it out of this bag, put it in something else, take it out, you know, put it down, knit out of it, you just throw it back in, and your yarn stays, oh, there's my crazy pants again. It stays nice. So I'll show you. It's just a little drawstring bag. Boop. See, my crazy looking If One Can, Two Can caked up. This is the bag on the inside. The outside has these really cute little owls. And you just pop it right in. Boop, boop, boop. And then boop. All right, it's perfect. So I told her, her name's Gail. I was like, Gail, you have got to make more of these and put them in the shop. These are awesome. So yeah, so I'm calling it a ball sack. I think she might be calling it a ball bag. Either way, it's hilarious. And it's perfect. I love it. So I think we're going to be offering these too. And I think she's going to sell them for like $8 or something. I mean, super duper reasonable considering, you know, it's just as much work really as a big bag. She still has to do all the same sewing. It's not, it's just, you know, smaller, which is probably even more hard because you're working on littler pieces. But I think they're cute. So if you have any interest in these guys, keep an eye out on the shop. Probably the next week or so, I think they should be going up. So yeah, check those out. She has a couple more that she made for me that I'm going to have, so I'll probably show you those. So I think she made them a tiny bit bigger. I don't know, we'll see. I haven't seen them, but I know she told me she has a couple for me. She made this bag for me too, so I like it. It's got little ladybugs and flowers. And it's cute for springtime. All right, so that's that. I have 2 more whips. This will be a quick one. I decided, you know, I had dyed all these kits for the Hokey Locatelli starting point mystery wrap knit-along thingy-jiggy, and I had no plan in doing it at all, at all. But then I started seeing all the pictures on Instagram, you know, because I was looking at the thread and looking for, you know, any of the kits that had been knit with my yarn. I just wanted to see how they, you know, knit it up and, you know, whatever. So of course I'm scrolling through like the thread, and I'm seeing all of these kits, and I just loved how this thing looked. I loved it so much. I was like, I've got to knit one. I have to do it. So I really don't have time to knit one. So I cast it on, and I'm going to show it because, I mean, at this point, I think, like, people are on the bind off. So, I mean, don't look if you don't want to see it, but if you're knitting it, I mean, you're way past where I am, I'm sure. So I've only done clue 1, and I've only done part of it. I've only done the first half. So, and this is the one that's not on needles. It's on 1 needle and 1 broken because I needed my needles the same size for something else. So I just threw it on this broken one that has the cord. So it's kind of scrunched up. I had 1 kit that was still left in the shop. So I took it out of the shop and I paired it with some yarn that I had dyed that I hadn't listed yet. And I came up with this. This is what this is the wrong side. I just don't want it to fall off the needle. So I came up with this. I love it. These aren't like normally the colors I would work with, but they did all seem to pair well together. So, and it's what I had already dyed up and ready to go. So I went with it and I really like it. I can't wait to finish it. I can't wait to keep going on it, but I just have too many things that I had to do. Like I had to get different things done, you know, because they're of time limits. So, but I will just show you a close-up. It's just like a kind of like an almondy, like a really light almondy color, then a nice lemon yellow, and then this speckled. The speckled is called Tin Roof Rusted. And I had it for sale and I listed it and then I took it like right back down so I could use it for this. And then this is just like a chocolatey brown. And then this is, I don't know if you can see this color really well. It's like a variegated orange. It's like a rust and a yellow, but the yellow, you know, blended with the orange. So you get, it's almost like a gold. And then some brown variegated. So yeah, so that's the colors that I put together. I'm just going to show you this one in this game because look how pretty. I love this. This was just a one-off. I was just kind of messing around with some colors to see what they would do together. And God, I love it. So I think I'm going to try to recreate something like this in the fall. I'm not going to do it right away, but fall time, if you like that colorway, keep an eye out because I'm going to try to recreate or at least something very similar in the fall because I think it's super pretty and it's like a really rich, but it's not like in your face orange either. It's just beautiful. Okay, last. This is a big one. This one is going to be an FO soon. but we're not quite there yet. Let me try to get it out without pulling it off my needles. Okay, here we go. This is a tough one to show you because it's all scrunched up. So this is the wrong side. Geez, I'm just showing you everything on the wrong side today. So I've got this, and then it looks like this. I don't know if you can see. It starts off, you have like no stripe, and then one stripe, 2, 3, 5, 8, and now I'm working on a section that will have 13, and then the last section has 21. So it's based on the Fibonacci sequence, and this is also by Justina McBride, May Designs, and it is called the Color Code Shawl. And this is a test knit, and she said it was okay to go ahead and show it. And she's got pictures, and there's a project page with everybody who's test knitting it. So it's not, you know, a secret or anything. Oh, I've got my little waffle, heart waffle with butter and syrup stitch marker on here by the Worsted Pearl. These are adorable. But yeah, this was another colorway. I had these two colorways dyed. I think I was playing around when I was doing the Hokey kits, and these just didn't make it into a kit. So I had them, and I was like, oh, I'll use them. They're quite pretty. But they just, you know, I hadn't listed them or anything. So you can see it's like a yellow and like a mint green speckle just on white, and then the hot pink stripes. So it starts here, and then it goes, you know, it gets bigger and bigger, and it's like a big triangular, like a big giant triangle. Okay. So what happened is I didn't really pay attention to the amount of yarn that was needed, and I really needed 2 skeins of the main color. And I don't know, I guess I just didn't even read it. I assumed, I guess, for whatever reason, that I would only need 1, and I was like, oh, I have these and they look great. I think I was just excited to use these 2 colors together because I've been looking for something to use these colors on that I just didn't even think to check. So I am quite low on, this is how much I have left of the main color. So what I did was I inverted my stripes. So when I got past the 8 section, I inverted, and then I'm doing it now. The hot pink is the main color and the white as the stripe. So I'll finish this section, and the next section will be like this as well, which I think actually looks kind of nice when it's wrapped around, because I mean, when it's wrapped up, you're not going to see, it's not going to be like all hot pink up in your face, because the majority of it is still going to be the white. So it was a terrible wrapping job because needles and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, so this, it's going to be huge, but it's so squishy, and I'm giving it to a friend that I'm seeing next week. So the deadline for the test knit is like the 13th, and I'm seeing my friend on the 15th. So this is going to be hers, and she doesn't know it yet, but her color is pink. Pink is like her jam. So this is going to be for my friend because she's a good friend, and she's been eyeballing some of my shawls, so I thought I would surprise her with one. So this is my skein coat. Now, this cake was, it's getting down there too, and it's also, I wound it really loosely for whatever reason, so I think that's why it's like kind of long and weird looking. But check out how well my skein coat is kind of keeping this weird messy skein all together and in check. I mean, this thing would be like really blowing up. But my skein coat to the rescue. This one's a different material. It's like a, I don't know, it's even a little bit stretchier. It's almost like a, it's not jersey. I don't know what it's called, but it's like a super stretchy. And it looks like this. So yeah, it's really cute, and I think I'm gonna need to get a couple more of these. They're like $6 or something. They're not expensive, you guys. Totally affordable. And the shipping's really inexpensive as well, because I mean, these things are really light. So I think I want to get like 3 more. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can get like 3 more for like just over 20 bucks. And that's a darn good deal if you ask me. And here's my little skein coat. It's upside down. So yeah, so this is what I'm currently feverishly working on to get done, because I need to have it, I want to have it done by this weekend. Like by the end of the weekend, I want this baby off the needles. I want it as an FO. I want to block it and have it all ready to gift to my friend that I am meeting up with for dinner next week. So yeah, and then once, because you guys know I still have the Find Your Fate. That hasn't been touched. I still have that on the needles. It's probably going to sit on the needles for a while now that it's summer. I mean, we'll see. But I want to do this, and then I want to go back to the Hokey and the other Catching Mermaid Waves, because I want to get that one off the needles too. I really like that colorway, and that one's going to be for me. So I need to work on those next. And that's why I said I can't really jump into the brioche or do that Stephen West pattern yet, because I have like 4 shawls on the needles right now. I'm gonna get crack-a-lackin' on those. Alright, so that's that, and I'm just gonna check my notes real quick. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I've got one more sock to show you guys. This is my other whip, my last one. This is in, I think I did these magic loop because you can still kind of see where my needle was. But this is in the Send in the Clowns colorway, and it's another micro striper. So if you can tell, I've been into the micro striping, and I think I'm going to kind of stick with it. I really like that. I like the look of it. So this is like a deep navy blue, and then you've got like some neon-ish. It's not really neon. It's close, but it's like a really bright chartreuse green, and then fuchsia and blue. So it's not neon, but it kind of is, but I think the blue and the way and the white kind of tones it down. So this one, you know, you've got, again, the colors aren't all next to each other. There's definitely white in between the colors, so you get those breaks, and then the stripes of navy blue. So people were saying it looks like Licorice All Sorts. I didn't know what Licorice All Sorts was, but I Googled it, and it does look quite a bit like that. So Google Licorice All Sorts if you're not familiar, and you'll be like, oh my god, it's so true. And then this is just Knit Picks Stroll Brights, and I'm not sure what the colorway is. It might be like a highlighter or something. But I thought it went really well with that. And this I just used, again, my espresso shot shorty sock pattern. I just did the leg a little bit longer, which, you know, super easy to do on that pattern. I think I did like 15 and 15 or something, or 10 and 15. I don't know, something like that. So I got to finish the other one because I really like these. So I'm going to finish those and probably put those away for a Christmas gift. I usually just knit my socks and put them away. I have got a bunch of pairs, so most of these I hang on to gift. Okay. So I think, you guys, that is it for the regular podcasty stuff. I'm going to just talk about the yarn shop stuff a little bit. So if you're interested in that, stick around. If you are not, it was great chatting with you, and thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, so have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys next time. If you are sticking around for the shop news, it's going to be really quick. There's not a ton of stuff. So one exciting thing did happen to me, and that was I was contacted by Kirsten from a yarn shop out in Minnesota called Lilla and Claudine's Yarn and Gifts, and she asked me if I would be interested in having some of my yarn in their shop. And so, of course, I'm in New Hampshire, so I didn't know anything about their shop. So I did a little bit of research, and I actually talked to somebody who is out in that area, and they are familiar with the shop, and they said it's a wonderful, wonderful place. The owners are amazing and helpful, and she couldn't say enough good things about them. So, I mean, I verified one. Yes, they are a real place, because, you know, you don't know. I mean, if any of you guys have found me through their shop and are watching this, hello. It might be weird to hear me talking about your local yarn shop. But yeah, so, you know, but I don't know. Nowhere near where they are. So, but they had a really nice website, and they had, you know, a strong social media presence. So I felt really comfortable, especially after talking to this person in their area. So I said, yeah, let's do it. So, so I dyed up the yarn, and it's been shipped off. And as of this Tuesday, it has been for sale in their shop, which is like, so exciting. Oh my God, crazy exciting. And let me tell you, just, you know, dealing with them and emailing and everything with Kirsten, I think that's how she says it, Kirsten or Kirsten. It's just wonderful. They're wonderful. And they had so much excitement for my yarn. I'm not looking to take on too many stores. Like, I'm thinking maybe one other store, and that would be it for now anyway, because I just, you know, it's just a time thing. And so the people that I want to work with are people that are excited about my yarn, because, I mean, it's my yarn. The vibe I got from Lila and Claudine's was so, like, she just kept saying, oh, we're so excited, we can't wait. You know, they put it in their newsletter that went out. They put it on social media, on their Facebook page. Like, they were just, you know, then they send me updates when the yarn first went out in their shop, you know, that it's all set up, it's ready to go, you know, the first day, how it went, and it went really well, yay. You know, they were just so enthusiastic about my yarn, and I thought, that's the type of people that I want to work with. Like, I'm enthusiastic about yarn. I'm enthusiastic about their shop. Like, I think they're great, you know? So if I can only work with a few people, I want to work with people that are just really excited about just what they're doing in general. Not even just my yarn, but just yarn and talking about it and selling it and projects. And, you know, I just want people that are pumped up about this industry and just, you know, they can't contain their excitement. And that's how they really seemed to me. And it was just really lovely and refreshing. So a huge thank you and shout out to Lila and Claudine's in Minnesota. Yeah, they're just wonderful. And if you happen to be in the Minnesota area, you can now squish my yarn before you buy it, if you are so inclined to do so, which, again, so exciting. So we'll see. I don't know, you know, right now it's basically a trunk show, so they have my yarn for the month of June, and you know, and we'll see how it goes. And maybe that will continue, maybe it won't, you know, it just kind of depends on how the yarn does there. And, you know, every location and stuff is different, so, you know, you don't know, you know, who's gonna like what. So, you know, we'll see. But right now it's going really great, and no matter what happens in the future, I really did enjoy working with them for this order. So I'm excited about that. So that is the reason why I don't have some of those finished objects to show you, is because I sent them off to Lila and Claudine's with my yarn. So, you know, so they have the Water Lilies colorway, and I knit that shawlette to go with their order, so that, you know, for a shop sample, so people could see what it looked like knit up in a shawl. And the socks, same difference. I had already knit them, but they were getting those colorways, so I included those as well, so people could see what they looked like knit up in socks and, you know, different projects. So that's where those are, and I'm just over the moon excited about this whole experience, and it's been such a great experience working with them. So yeah, can't say enough good things about their shop. And I think that's it. So oh, you know, I wanted to put a question out there to you guys about 50 gram, like, half skeins of sock yarn. I have 50 gram skeins up of a couple colorways right now, in water lilies, and also my Good Morning colorway, which is my Good Morning colorway is probably the most popular colorway that I've ever dyed. I don't have any except for 250-gram skeins available right now because it is a more complicated one to dye and it takes a long time, and I've dyed so much of it. The very last skein I had just sold, and I'm probably not going to dye any more of it for at least a little while. I'm just going to give myself a quick break from it. You know, so when I do dye it again, I'm excited about it. But I do have the 50-gram skeins, and I also have the 50-gram skeins of water lilies. And my thought process with those was that, you know, if anyone out there is like me and they want to knit short socks, not even necessarily small ankle socks, but you can still knit quite a decent pair of short, you know, like mid-size socks if you're using contrasting heels and toes, and definitely if you're doing a contrasting cuff. So, you know, you won't have a ton of leftover yarn, but, you know, you can also, you're spending a little bit less. You don't have to spend quite as much if you're not knitting like really big socks. You could buy 2 different colorways and get, for the same price, you know, as one. And so that was my thought process behind offering some of these in the smaller skeins. They haven't really been doing so well, though, in the shop. So I've been debating on whether, because I was going to come out with a new, I was going to do a muffin collection. I was going to do blueberry muffin, cranberry muffin, and banana nut muffin in 3 different colorways. And I was going to do them in 50-gram skeins. But now, and I was going to offer them with a contrasting mini. Each of them would come with a mini. But I don't know if people are really interested in the 50-gram skeins, or it's just those particular colorways aren't doing well in the 50 grams. Or if people just don't realize how much they can actually knit in a 50-gram skein. And so they're staying away from it because they're not quite sure what they can do with it. So, yeah, I wanted to put that out there to you guys and just get your thoughts. If anyone wanted to shoot me a line or comment below on the video, or, you know, send me something in the Ravelry group. You know, you could post it right under the episode thread in the Ravelry group would be fine. But I'm just curious to know, you know, if you're interested in 50-gram skeins. I mean, not even necessarily for me, but just, you know, in general, is that something that interests you? And, you know, if not, why not? And, you know, is it because you just didn't realize how much sock you could actually get out of a 50-gram skein? Or, you know, is it because you only knit really long socks? Because in which case you could just buy 2 50-gram skeins and you wouldn't have to, you know, split up the ball. If you did like 2 at a time or something, you'd have 2 50-gram skeins already split up. So, I mean, I feel like that shouldn't necessarily be an issue because, like I said, you can just buy 2 and it would be the exact same price as buying 1. Yeah, or, you know, what your thoughts are on 50-gram skeins, because I like 50-gram skeins, but I also knit short socks. So, I don't know, maybe I'm like a odd bird and not a lot of people like to knit short socks. I don't know. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then lastly, I just want to show you a couple of the new colorways that I have done that are available. A lot of them, you know, have sold and I just have like maybe 1 or 2 left. So I wanted to show you guys those in case you were interested in seeing them. And these, and there's not everything. These are just some of my super duper favorites. So this baby right here is called Mermaid Mishap, and I love it. And I'm pretty sure if nobody buys this by the time I've cleared up a couple things off my needles, like maybe over the next couple of weeks, like 3 weeks maybe, if nobody has bought this skein, I'm taking it and keeping it because I love it. I almost didn't even put it in the shop. This is like a one of a kind. I don't think I have the recipe for this. But it's got like these blues and greens and like teal, turquoise, like violet. Like it has so much depth in this yarn, and it's all speckled, and it's got this yellow and like a red, like a brick red. Guys, I don't know. I think this is stunning. Even in here, can you see like it's all speckled? And this is all speckled. And up in here, like look at that deep brick red. I love this skein. I just think it's gorgeous. I would knit socks with it. This is a 80/20 superwash merino nylon. I would definitely make socks with this. I'm just saying, I think it would look great in a patterned sock or a vanilla sock. So I'm gonna snag this one if nobody wants it. And same goes for this one. I have sold some of this, and I think it's repeatable. I think I wrote down, I have the recipe. I use Evernote, if anyone's curious. I use Evernote to keep track of all my stuff. I love it. I did pay for the upgraded version. It's like a monthly thing for like the storage. I love it. It's a fantastic program. So if anyone's interested about that, but like, look, do you see these speckles, guys? Come on. It's like hot pink, look here, and yellow, which ends up giving you some orange, and then more hot pink, and then you have like these dark, I don't know if the camera is showing it up super well. It's like a dark brown, and then even here it's almost like a mauvey. Oh, it's so beautiful. I did sell some of it, so I'm wondering if I will get to see it knit up, because I'm in a Facebook group with that person, so I'm hoping maybe one day I'll get to see what it looks like knit up, because, I mean, I say I'm going to steal it, but I can't steal everything. I do love it, though. So it might be a toss-up between this one. It's called Electric Peach, so it might be a toss-up between this one and Mermaid Mishap, or somebody buys one, then maybe I'll snag the other one. We'll see. And then I have this colorway, which I also really like. This is fun. It's called Hula Hooping. And it's really bright. It's not neon, but some of these are close to neon. Like this is like a really bright lime green, and then like a really nice bright blue. And it's got these, like, look at these pinks to purples, and then reds. Yeah. I mean, it's just got these really great pops of color, and it's just really variegated, random, you know, the colors are just all over the place. So you can see there's more pink inside there. It's like got like a lot of green showing on the outside, but there's a lot of pink in here too. So hula hooping, I have 2 of these left. This is If One Can, Two Can. This is version 1. There's also a version 2 that's at Lila and Claudine's that is not a micro striper. It's just all the colors with the peach base. This one is the micro striper that I showed you in the Catching Mermaid Wave shawl. So it's got like a bright yellow, black, a bright teal, like, or turquoise, I guess, and a hot pink. And then it's all in this like really light peach base. And I love it. So I decided, so I dyed a couple and I kept one for myself that I'm knitting that shawl out of. And I have this colorway as well. This one is a fun, it's showing up. It's like light pink and a medium pink with like cherry red and black speckles. And it's called Cherry Cola. I have a couple of these, and this is a really cute color too. I think this would make this would be a nice speckled addition to a shawl. That's what I would do with this. I would definitely, you know, if you have a 2 or 3 color shawl that needs a speckle, or if you're gonna do the Hokey wrap and you haven't, you know, you're not doing it as part of the mystery knit along, but if it's something you want to cast on, this would be a great speckle yarn for that. Same for this. This one would make a great pair of socks. This would be great by itself in a 1 skein shawl, or in addition to a speckled, you know, area of like a multi-skein shawl. This is a really cool colorway as well. And I have sold some of this. I only have 1 left. This is called Lavender Fields, and it is a very pale purple with then a little bit of more medium, like kind of like a lilac-y purple. And then some, like a bright chartreuse green, and then these little spots of like it's like a pink, yeah, pink speckles. And it just has some lightly pink speckles. I love this. I love this yarn. This is repeatable though, so I mean, I can if you needed a larger quantity and you wanted this, but you need more, I can repeat this. So just give me a shout and let me know. Right now I only have one left, but I do love it. Here's another one. Again, this one is repeatable, but I only have one left as well. Yeah, so if you wanted more, I could do more. This is a micro striper. So the blue, this kind of really cool, just straight up bright blue, is the solid stripe. And then you have this red and white, just variegated section, which will be the other stripe. So, you know, if you've seen my other micro striping things that I've knit up, this will knit in a similar fashion, but with red, white, and blue. So I released this just, I think, Memorial Day weekend, and I mean, I will keep it through July for like a 4th of July colorway. I know a few people have some out there, but I don't think I've seen a lot of micro stripers yet. So there's something different. I mean, it would make a cool looking pair of socks and not just a straight up variegated. You know, if you wanted something maybe a little bit different, this could do it. And again, it is repeatable, so if this one sells, I might do a couple more for July. And that's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. So I think I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you again for hanging out with me for another week. I'm trying to podcast every 2 weeks. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer than that. I've just, you know, we all get a lot of stuff going on. The summertime is kind of hard, but, you know, I'm going to do the best I can. I really am enjoying it, and I'm enjoying, oh, I'm having a hard time with that. I'm enjoying meeting all of you guys. It's been really great. So far, this has been a wonderful experience, and everybody has been so nice and so kind to me. And you know, I think that was probably one of my biggest fears, putting myself out there on a podcast, was just what sort of reaction was I going to get? And not that I expected anyone in the knitting community to just be like nasty or anything. You know, I didn't expect that, but it's just scary. You know, you don't know what someone's going to say to you. You know, we all have our hang-ups and, you know, and our insecurities and things, which I have plenty of. So everybody's been so great. And yeah, so I appreciate all of you, and I love getting to meet you all. So thank you so much. Thank you for sticking with me. And, you know, I'm trying to, as I can, upgrade some of my, you know, equipment, get some better lighting, maybe some better sound, some things like that as I go along. So bear with me. You know, I'm doing my best, and hopefully I can upgrade some of that stuff for you guys soon so it looks a little bit better. All right. Well, you enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon.